Hello, guys, and welcome to my Horizon Forbidden West review. I've just finished the game today, so it's all quite fresh in my mind. So we're going to go into it, and we're going to just give some of the positives for this game. The overall, the main story, pretty solid. Not quite as good as the first one. I'm not sure how I feel about them retconning the obviously in the first game the spaceship that went off to try to find a new planet to colonize was destroyed, and obviously in the second one they've just gone, actually that didn't happen. They for some reason pretended that happened, and now they're back and they're all not very nice people, which is fine. Like I said, solid game, solid story, fair enough. Not sure how I feel about the prelude to the next game. Obviously, this will have the review. Overall, will have a few spoilers, so obviously do not listen to this if you haven't watched or haven't played the game all the way through, or don't mind any spoilers anyway. So we're going to go, like I said, through the positives, and then we'll get on to the negatives, because there is quite a few negatives, unfortunately. Graphically, game is very solid, very nice looking, beautiful to look at. We have maybe some bit of a setback, because obviously it's made for not quite as good as it could have been, because it was made for PS4 as well as PS5. So maybe held back a little bit on the graphics for the PlayStation 4, but still very pretty. I liked the world map in this game. So you have all the different biomes you could think of, really, and it all transitioned quite nicely. So you have got lush forests to desert to snowy mountains. All works very well. Obviously, you can now swim in this game. It's very beautiful under the water. Bit unfortunate you can't really fight underwater. It's a bit, so some of the water bits are quite frustrating, which again is a little bit annoying, but still nice to have an underwater feature in the game. I mean, the underwater levels on most games aren't very good, or very tricky to do well. So no real problems with that. Nice additions, anyway. Some of the new abilities and weapons and stuff, all very nice. I like the disc curler in particular. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, so combat is good. Nothing major, no major changes from the first one, which is fine because it worked. Now, of course, one of the good things about the first game was the facial animations were very good, and now this one has somehow improved that. Honestly, it makes the characters more realistic. The way they move, the dialogue is excellent. Always been a good thing in the first game and the second game. Characters are paramount. They're just so good. The facial animations, like I said, and the movements of the characters just make them feel very realistic, very real people, which you get very attached to. And I think this, and just like the first one, the side quests, when it comes to proper side quests, not like not the proving games, not the hunting grounds, not the pitmaster type of kind of things, just actual side quests, talking to people, doing the thing, coming back, talking to them type of thing, or rescuing people, that kind of thing, is a highlight, just like the first game. And in some cases, I probably prefer some of the side quests to the main quest. Now, the world building, it's kind of unfortunate in the fact that the world building in the first one was very good, but obviously was left a lot open to interpretation, which I actually really liked, and that's kind of a downside of this one. This fills in some of the gaps, and makes the game, the world, a little bit less mysterious, which obviously is going to happen if you're going to have 2 or 3 games set in the same world, which is fine. Like I said, a little bit of a letdown from my perspective because I like a bit of mystery, a little bit, things left up to the imagination, which is fine. It's cool. Like a couple of extra features in this game. The glide ability is very fun, so you can get up to top of the mountain, then glide all the way down. And now you've got a mount that flies, which is awesome. A lot of fun. Some great new characters. Alva, I think she's called. She was awesome. Loved her, and loved the Tanakh with the one arm. He was awesome. I loved him. And if you've got recurring characters that I really liked in the first game, and make a return, great stuff. And yeah, in general, all of that from the first game is kind of solid. Characters, side quests, general story, world building, all excellent. Graphically, sound. The music, does the job. There's like one piece that's obviously the kind of like main piece that's very good. But yeah, I suppose we got to get onto the bad stuff really, and then obviously the score. So bad stuff, right? Okay. First got into the game. Obviously streaming. Gonna wanted to stream it because I streamed the first one all the way through. Gonna stream this one all the way through. First problem came up when I quick saved. It would kick me off my broadcast. That happened 2 or 3 times. That problem was soon fixed, so that's fine. But we have had some graphical errors and glitches and stuff in the game, which didn't really... Well, it happened a little bit in the first game, but this is just another problem on top of other problems, which kind of lets the game down, especially when considering the first game was so good. So we had a piece of armor my Aloy was wearing for a good chunk of the game. We're talking like 20 hours, and her shoulder pad in cutscenes would glitch in and out of visibility, which was a bit distracting. We also had a few other graphical errors and glitches that made things a little bit distracting. Nothing major, nothing game breaking, right? But enough to make me go, it's not quite as polished as the first game. Obviously, I guess I don't know. I can't really compare, but I guess the game's a little bit bigger, so that might be the possible reason why. But that's not too much to complain about, right? But I did think one of the small little problems with the first game was Aloy's climbing was, fine, adequate, but it was a bit annoying at times. Now this game actually relies on it a bit more. It's got a bit more platforming, a bit more puzzling, and yeah, this not quite as fun. To be honest, when you've got those issues mounting up, some of the puzzles are a little bit more frustrating, and a little bit painful. But there you go. Again, I had a couple of puzzles that really, really didn't work very well for me, and I was a little bit annoyed. Quite frustrated with some of the mechanics. Some of the puzzles are a bit obtuse. Could have been signposted a little bit better. Another That's graphically, I think that's all I can think of, and puzzle wise, and that kind of thing's fine. And story beat wise, like I said, I'm not sure how much I liked the guys coming back from space kind of thing. Like I said, solid, good, but just not quite on par with the highs of the first game. I did, like I said, spoiler. Ted Farrow turns up in this game. Unfortunately, he kind of dies off screen, and I was actually a bit frustrated with that. He kind of like partway through, it's like, oh, we're going to go to the bunker of Ted Farrow. Is he possibly alive? I presumed he was. We get there, he kind of gets killed off screen, and I'm a bit like, oh, well, that's a bit annoying. Would have really liked to have had a bit of a chat with him before having a bit of a fight with him, type of thing, and finishing him off myself. But there you go. That's a bit of a missed opportunity there. Now, unfortunately, I got the I got the platinum in the first game, and it was a lot of fun. Didn't have any issues with it, apart from the hunting grounds. They were a little bit annoying. Basically, hunting grounds are these trials where you got to kill certain robots in certain ways in a certain amount of time, and they could be quite frustrating because obviously some of the ways were quite difficult, but it was enough. It was fine. I did it. And that was that, right? But then for this game, they've gone, right, we want to make this game a bit more full. We want to stretch out the time, make things a bit more difficult, maybe. So we're going to fill the map up with these odd quests, like the hunting grounds, where we've got hunting grounds. Fair enough, fine, done it. It's a bit frustrating, but fine. Then they put in the pitmaster thing, which is very similar but melee orientated rather than long range like the other one is. Now, I did the first two. I'd say fine, but they were quite frustrating. And then the third one was pretty much impossible. I gave up on that, got very frustrated with it. It was basically saying, press these buttons, and then you do it, and it says, nah, not quite in that way. We need you to do it in a different way. Press the same buttons, but in a different way, which I didn't get. It was a very silly thing. And very frustrating. It basically put a stop to me getting the platinum trophy, because I was just like, well, I'm not going to get that. There's no point in trying. I only get platinums for games that I really, really enjoy, and I don't think are going to make me very annoyed. The first one didn't. I enjoyed every second of it, apart from the hunting grounds, like I said, but that's fine. And unfortunately, this one was just like, yeah, we're gonna annoy the heck out of you. We're gonna make a trophy almost impossible to get, and there you go. That's just gonna be how it is. Which, like I said, very frustrating, very annoying. And on top of that, we also had you've got to upgrade your weapons and your armor, which is fine. The first game did. I upgraded my weapons and stuff, absolutely fine. But this time, we want you to get certain parts, which is fine. Like in the first one, you got them through via doing the main side story or the side quest, but not this time. Doing the side quests, stories, and stuff like that doesn't really give you the parts you need, because you have to do specific bosses. So it's basically just a big old grind, and finding the creatures you actually need is quite difficult. Because obviously the more important armor you've got to get, they basically say, I don't know, Thunderjaws you got to get, Claw Striders. Let's say you got to get 3 Claw Strider Apex Claw Strider hearts, which is fine, but there's loads of Claw Strider spawn points around the map. You go there, you go there. They're not the right ones. There's no apex ones. So you go a different one. There's no apex ones there. You go to a different one. There's one apex one there, but the drop rate doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it every time you kill one. So you then kill it, don't get it. You have to travel further away, then travel back to make sure it gets the apex respawns, and then you got to fight them numerous times. I spent about 45 minutes trying to find an apex claw strider or a bristleback or something somewhere, and I just couldn't find one. Extremely frustrating. I gave up after about 45 minutes. Very annoying. Just absolutely pointless. Kind of busybody work that really dilutes the fun of the game. Like I said, the pitmaster and that combined maybe just go very frustrated. And then I played the whole game on medium. I was level 48. I got to the last boss and the last part of the game, and I could not beat the boss. There was a massive spike in difficulty that I couldn't overcome, so I had to go back, put it on easy, level up my armor, level up some of my weapons, and then I took it on. And on easy, it was extremely easy. So I went from one extreme where I was on medium, powerful enough, should have been powerful enough to take it now, but wasn't. And then I went from that to sticking on easy because I thought, I've kind of got to for this boss, and it was a bit too easy. And as you can see, sometimes the enemies seem to know exactly where you're going to avoid their shots to, and know exactly how you're going to shoot your weapons. So sometimes the enemies can be a bit frustrating in that way, but that's not a big deal. But like I said, the difficulty spike and the busybody work in this game really let it down. It's just like, well, we've got to fill the time up. We want to fill the time up with stuff instead of going, what are we good at? We could make more side quests. We could put more trophies in with doing the cool side quests with the characters and the stories that we can build up. No, let's just put up some grindy stuff and some really, really difficult, frustrating pitmaster stuff. And it's just like, well, you diluted the game, really. Keeping with the characters, keeping with the cool side quests, this would have been just as good as the first one, but they just kind of decided, nah, we're gonna do more, but we're gonna do it not as well. Fill it up with some silly pitmasters stuff. We're gonna fill it with just some, go here, kill 10 of these, collect that, and then go over here, find those, kill 3 of those, rather than incorporating into the story or incorporating into these cool side quests that they do. So like I said, I was really going to think about giving this a very good score until I tried to go for the platinum and got up against the pitmaster rubbish and the grinding of the armor and weapon upgrades, and combined with all the other little faults that I had with the game. Honestly, I'll give it about 7 out of 10, which is very disappointing. Like I said, I gave the first one 9 out of 10, I believe, or 9.5 out of 10, I believe, something like that. It was very, very good score, very great game. Found this one very disappointing. Hope the next one isn't as disappointing. That being said, if you're just playing for the story and you're not going for the platinum trophy, I would bump the score up to 8. It's still a good game. Got some graphical problems, not as polished as the first one, and some of the stuff in the game is just busybody work. Just frustrating, really, because I loved the first one so much. just found some of the stuff very dubious at what they put into the game to try to make the game a little bit bigger. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I really would like to give it a higher score, but I found it immensely stressful and hard work near the end of the game, doing all this busybody work, and the pitmaster stuff was extremely annoying. It's just a shame. Like I said, solid, very solid story, very good side quests, great graphics, nice world map. Just disappointed with where it's gone in the busybody work and things like that. So yeah, 7 out of 10. If you're not going for the platinum, yeah, 8 out of 10. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you like, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.